Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice launched for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC last generation. But over time, developers added number of features like ray tracing and performance modes for consoles. So in today's video, I'll be checking ray tracing mode in this game to see how it looks on Xbox Series X. Let's have a look. Hey guys, welcome to Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. One of the best games of last generation and still one of the best looking games of last generation, by the way. So if you haven't really played that game just yet, give it a try. It's available on PlayStation, PC, Xbox, of course. By the way, it's also even available on Switch. Now, it may not have ray tracing on Switch, but still. Fantastic game, very atmospheric. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use for that game. So the atmosphere in this game is fantastic. But anyway, I want to talk about the graphics in this game because the game looks great. And now with ray tracing, it looks even better. Okay, so first off, there's a couple of options when it comes to graphics here. I'm using enriched visuals graphics preset for ray tracing. There's two other modes, resolution mode and performance mode. They are pretty self-explanatory. So resolution mode basically bumps up the resolution to probably 4K. Performance, it's all about 60 frames per second. By the way, I will show you resolution mode because I think it may run at 60 frames per second, which is a bit surprising to me, but I will leave that for later, so stay tuned. Okay, so first off, enriched visuals mode. So this is ray tracing in its full glory. Now, this is actually this is pretty much beginning of the game, but this place is a perfect place to show you ray tracing because you've got all these reflections in the water, right? And you can clearly see that, like, you can see the parts of the sky in the puddles over here, and there's this giant structure over there which reflects perfectly in the water. So the game really looks good, and resolution also is a bit higher than in performance mode because in performance mode you get 60 frames per second, but lower resolution and no ray tracing, right? So it's amazing what this team did, what they achieved with that game, really. Can you believe that only around 15 up to 20 people worked on that game back in 2014-15, I think, while they were also juggling other jobs because basically to fund this game they had to support other developers. They were basically taking other jobs to bring money to the company, and they did that. Now the game is not necessarily too long. It takes around like 8 to 10 hours to actually beat that game. And I think that kind of games actually are perfect because they not like you tend to remember them. There's a lot of things going on in this game, and it's not too long, so you don't get bored, but you are really kind of engaged all the time with the game. And I think that when it comes to that type of games, it's perfect. Now the game is locked to 30 frames per second in ray tracing mode, and so far I haven't really noticed any frame drops per se. So but let's actually continue a little bit and see other parts of the game. But like I said, the reflections looks fantastic, and there's actually quite a lot of environments where you've got reflective surfaces like puddles, rivers, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so by the way, this is a more like slower paced kind of game. So, that's for the, I don't need 60 frames per second for that type of game crowd. I get it, it's playable, I guess. Like, I'm not saying that it's not, but like 60 frames per second is actually so much better. And I will switch to that mode in a minute, but let's continue. Yeah, the actual graphics and the textures and everything, like in this game you will find a lot of very detailed environments, and this is still Unreal Engine 4 game, by the way. So I'm actually surprised how well they optimized this game, because like this is kind of like, obviously without ray tracing and at lower resolution, this is how this game actually looks and runs on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So that's impressive for sure. On top of, I mean, obviously we're talking about reflections here, right? Like we focus on reflections a lot. But there's also environments where you've got fire and different light sources which lit these surrounding areas a lot. So yeah, like look at these reflections over here too. Okay, there's some puzzles obviously in this game, so this one is actually pretty simple. I'm not sure if I can actually skip the... Yeah, she hears voices all the time, so it's, when you play that game, it's actually pretty important to use headset. Because you've got these. Look at the details on the face and everything is just like crazy, and this is all done with Unreal Engine 4. So just imagine what this team is going to do in Unreal Engine 5, just with all these next-gen technologies. My only worry is that it may be locked to 30 frames per second on consoles. That's my only worry. Okay, let's skip it. No, I can't skip it.
I may walk with you.
Tell me your stories again, old friend.
Yeah, it's very cinematic game. Also, there's obviously there's combat in this game too, and I'll we will see that in a minute.
And you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
Focus. I can see
Okay.
one.
Hold it in your mind's eye. Find one like it to open
So
the gate.
now we have to find M, which is kind of made of the shadows, as you can see.
Towards the gate.
So that's kind of puzzles you will find in this game a lot. Look at these reflections, kind of cool, right? Love it.
The gate is open.
Love
Go
it.
through the gate. Go through it. It's dangerous. Follow it.
Go, go, go.
It worked.
I spent 6 years enslaved in hell. But I watched the Northmen. Learned their ways.
I know you did.
You listen when everyone else laughed. My people paid a heavy price.
Yeah, look at the graphics. It looks fantastic.
And together we will make the Northmen feel our fury.
Another voice joins us. She once tried to make them go away. Pretend they weren't real.
Okay, next time it saves, which is now.
When we are always here. I guess it's the same with heights.
I will switch to resolution mode, because I'm actually, performance mode offers like way lower resolution, which doesn't necessarily look that great because it's very soft and stuff.
You can't just wish things.
Okay, so let's actually. Now you can hear stuff. Okay, so let's go to options and let's change it to resolution mode. Yeah, resolution mode, that's fine. And continue. Because, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was convinced that resolution mode is locked to 30 frames per second, but apparently not. Yeah, it takes a few seconds to load the textures. But it's 60 frames per second, which is actually pretty surprising to me, to be honest with you, because, like, you know, the game looks much better than in performance now. Now, I bet that there may be some frame drops, I would imagine. Like, I mean, why else you would, why else developers would offer like two modes, like performance and resolution mode? But let's give it a try. Let's see if it actually we get any frame drops. Sometimes I get Tomb Raider vibes. I'm not sure if you remember Tomb Raider. So yeah, looks is pretty impressive.
Look at it. You have to open it.
The gate to hell.
It's 60 all the time right now. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Is that the face of Hela herself? The half-rotten goddess that rules over Helheim. Whatever horrors lie behind that door.
We'll get a little bit of combat in a second.
Shh. Someone's here.
A lot of stuff happens in her head, so when you see her, like,
I beg you.
like that means just like she's kind of talking with her own demons, if you know what I mean.
You won't. I won't resist anymore. Just give him back.
Ooh, time for some combat. Very good. This is what I want in Hellblade 2 more. I want more combat, because actually combat actually is pretty cool. People complain, oh shit, I can't fight them really. So the combat is actually pretty satisfying. It's maybe not too complicated, but it's actually pretty good. And by the way, Ninja Theory, so developers of that game, has got a very good track record when it comes to combat games. They made Devil May Cry, they made that PlayStation 3 exclusive, I forgot the name of it. Yeah, it will probably come to me in a second. So one of the PlayStation 3 launch titles, very good game too. And yeah, so they know how to make combat games, but obviously in this game it wasn't really necessarily. That particular game is not necessarily about like action. It's more about storytelling and fighting her own demons in their head and stuff. So yeah, but still, I really do hope that we will get more action, more combat in the next game. So Hellblade 2 apparently is coming out next year, so hopefully it's not really going to be long of a wait anymore. But by the way, like performance mode, it's pretty much 60 frames per second. I mean, I can't guarantee you that it's like 60 all the way through the game, but so far so good. I haven't really noticed any frame drops. Dark root will grow each time you fail. If the root reaches Senua's head, her quest is over. And no progress will be lost. There you go. So you better be careful. Yeah, but this game is not too difficult when it comes to combat. I mean, the puzzles may be tricky sometimes. So, if you get stuck, I guess, take your time. But when it comes to encounters with, enemies and stuff, it's not too difficult.
But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will
Okay, I'll switch to performance mode in a minute, just to show you how this looks. But I'm still waiting to regain the control over Senua.
Listen to me, Senua. The goddess Hela lies behind the gate to Helheim. To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Surt, and the god of illusion, Valravan. Spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
Okay, so it saved progress. You know what? I think even though
She has to fight two gods first.
I'm running this game in resolution mode,
She's going to die.
I think it's dynamic resolution because now it seems a little bit lower. But anyway, let's switch to
Which one?
hold on, let's go over here.
Valravan, ancestor of the seers and master of ravens. He hunts his prey with his powers of illusion and feasts on their remains. Follow the path to Valravan and defeat him in battle to earn his mark. The gate
Yeah, you've got these
cannot be opened without
boss
it.
battles, I guess you can call it. So you know what? Like, I can't say it's locked 60 frames per second, but it's very smooth. Really. And obviously, if we switch to resolution mode now, sorry, performance mode, the image quality will take a hit. So, you know what they say, something has to give, right? The loading is not too long, like 10 seconds, I think, so it's not too bad. Yeah, you can clearly see that the actual image quality is not that great now. I mean, and this is the thing, right? So I would just recommend playing in resolution mode, not because of the resolution, I mean, yes, but because you've got both higher resolution and and 60 frames per second still. So yeah, I mean the game looks much worse now because I think it's 1080p or something like that. I think it's locked to 1080p. So I would go with resolution mode if you want good, if you want better performance over over visuals, so ray tracing. You know what, let's actually switch to ray tracing for last time and see how the game looks, because that's the main purpose of this video, to show you the ray tracing. But I think like ray tracing is mainly reflections and some lighting for sure too. So yeah, you can see the reflections, which so there's no screen space reflections, of course. So you can see the sky being reflected. I think there's more details also. Yeah, I mean, so not only you are getting ray tracing, but I think you are getting more details on the screen. So dense, more dense environments, if you know what I mean, like more grass, trees, and all that, these kind of details, I think. Yeah, the game looks much better. And you know, it's not even that bad in 30 frames per second. It's just, yeah, I'll show you this particular puzzle. It's quite easy because it's very slow paced kind of game, I guess. I understand what some people say that, oh, you know, 30 frames per second is not too bad for like slow paced kind of games. So I'll guess it makes sense. So let me show you one more puzzle. So you have to go through this gate, but you like it's blocked. However, if you look through this thing, maybe I need to go through this, I don't know, or maybe not. Okay, I think I'm forgetting something. Okay, so I am... Oh, I think I know. I need to come close to it, I think, now first. I know for a fact that that's the way it works. Yeah, I need to come close to it.
Illusion hides the path to Valravn. Don't trust your eyes. Find another way to see the truth.
And let's do it again then. It's actually not that bad even in 30 frames per second, but if I were you, because like as you can see there's not many reflections and stuff, like you don't necessarily pay much attention to these small puddles, so I would just stick to resolution mode, which offers nice sharp image and 60 frames per second. So now the path is blocked and now it's unlocked. There you go, right? So that's how it works. Oh, nice. There's this light source, which you will see like a nice warm glow on her too. It's not only on the Senua, but also on the actual environment. So it just looks better. So things like that, but it's like not a massive difference really. So yeah, guys. So listen, Senua Sacrifice, Hellblade Senua Sacrifice, fantastic game. Really love it. It's optimized for Xbox Series X. You can play 60 frames per second with ray tracing. Well, then it's locked to 30. There's resolution at 60 frames per second too. Mode. So yeah, I guess it all depends on what you like, but the game is fantastic. If you haven't really played that game, give it a try. It's on Game Pass, so don't miss on that, really, especially that the sequel is coming next year, so you need to play that game. I'm not sure if you need to play that game to play the other one, but you know, I guess it makes sense, right? So anyway, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.